Hello YouTube and everybody, and as you can see from the title today, I'm going to talk about why Chevrolet and GM decided to make the mid-engine C8, and I'm also just going to talk about the differences of the C6, 7, and 8 and why I believe which one is the best and why they did what they did. So I am on my laptop too, so I'm be kind of scrolling through things, looking up things while I'm making this video as well. And also, happy Sunday. As you see, there's no showroom Sunday today, but I would like for everybody just to subscribe, like, share, and comment, and everything like that. So, brief history lesson. C6 Corvette, which is the sixth, we call it C6 because it's the 6th generation Corvette. Started in 2005, lasted to 2013. It started with the LS2 and had 400 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. And I believe it upgraded to a 6.2 liter LS3. I want to say 2008. I think they had 430 or 450 horsepower. Let me check LS3. Let me double check. LS3. When did the Corvette get? Yep, 2008 is when it got the LS3. So like I said, the LS2 was a 2005 to 2007, which is the kind I have in my vet, and the LS3 was in 2008 to 13, which I'm just talking about base model. I'm not talking about Z06, ZR1, but for base models. And let me see. LS3. So yeah, I was right. 430 horsepower and 424 pound-feet of torque. So that's that. Next Corvette C7, 7th generation, which is from 2014 to 2019. And that introduced the LT1 engine in it, which has 450 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque when it first came out. I think now over the years they did like minor touches to it. Well, I think now the LT1 has like 460 or 460 pound-feet of, 460 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. And I'm just talking about base model, not Z06, ZR1, nothing like that. And then now with the C8, 8th generation, 2020, we don't know how long it's gonna last yet. It has the LT2, which has 495 horsepower, which is with the actual performance package. I think the performance package will give it like a different exhaust or something. It gives a few more horsepower. Let me see, LT2 horsepower, 495 and 470 pound-feet of torque. I know that, I don't know what the actual numbers is. I know that it's actual, let me type in horsepower without because it's the exhaust, the performance exhaust that gives it 495. Without performing. $490. It's called the Z51 pack. I should have known that. So it's only five more horsepower. So 490, 495. People rounded up to 500 horsepower. So that's in the C8 base model. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to the C6, like the kind I have. C6, like I said, either 2005-ish when it first came out, it introduced the LS2, 400 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. Great engine. It's among the top tier among American engines. It's iconic. It's the LS. So, and then like I said, 2008 to 13 base model, you get the LS3. gives a little bump in horsepower and torque. So, um, well, me personally, I consider C6 is like the first modern or first. I don't want to go as far as say first futuristic, but I consider C6 as the first modern Corvettes. I even go to say futuristic. Now, I don't think about spaceship futuristic, but I consider C6 the first next level Corvettes. Not to take nothing from any Corvettes of the past, but they were designed, especially when you get to LS3 models like 2008 plus. The technology, that was a time in where technology period, but automotive technology was advancing. So you got better systems of traction control, stability control, things like that. Once you get especially like high end models like Z06 and things like that, you start to get magnetic shocks. You got the different change mode changers like track mode, sport mode, things like that. And that was like really the first, even when like the older ones, 2005, 2006 models, you know, it was just the whole package, from the body styling, from everything. When you look at a C6 compared to every Corvette of days gone past, you will know like, okay, this one's different. Let alone the technology that I put into it as well that backs it up. I mean, the inside, you got touch screens and everything. The first ones didn't have rear view cameras, but then they started making rear view cameras. The steering wheel had the little buttons. It's a full better package than all the ones of the past. And on top of that, of course, there's a lot of problems that happen. Certain things come out. I mean, that was a while back, but still, they were built pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Especially they weren't super expensive. So the money you put for that car, that vehicle, you get a good product. Next is the C7. Came out 14 to 19. Like I said, that was just the next level. It's a whole. That took Corvettes, as great as they are and were then. C7 changed the game even better. And I mean, the LT1 engine in the base model all the way to the LT5 and the ZR1 is just amazing, you know. Now we have the C8, so got the LT2 in it. So I say that to say, back to the main topic at hand is that why did GM finally decide to put a rear-mounted engine, well, we call it mid-engine, but rear-mounted engine inside a Corvette? And that is, honestly, I'm going to say, well, first off, in like the 70s and 80s, they actually made prototypes and tried to implement a Corvette with a rear-mounted engine in it. It's just that it never happened production-wise until now, as you can see with the C8 coming out. But why did it take, if they did those things, and there were mid-engine vehicles back then, you know, some of them were expensive, like, of course, Lamborghinis and Ferraris and things like that. And even Dodge made a Charger with a rear-mounted engine. I didn't even know this till like a few months ago. There were rear-mounted engine vehicles back in the 70s and 80s, but Corvette and Chevy GM didn't do that until now. And I believe that is because, I say this right but wrong, but GM and Chevy kept building what they knew. Push-rod engines, front-mounted, rear-wheel drive, great power for what you paying for. I mean, they kept doing what they knew until they got to the C7. That's why I personally believe that the C7 Corvette was the highest pinnacle of what Corvettes could become. So they literally had to evolve it into something else. Now, of course, there's for one, the market is changing. There's a lot more younger people buying these Corvettes. That's just how it is. And on top of that, the competition. Corvette is a sports car, so it's competing with other sports cars, but at the same time, it's also competing on a minor scale, but it's still competing with some of those top end, fast. There's real extreme Ferraris and Lamborghinis like that. So the market, the competition, and just technology as a whole. So I believe that the C7 was the highest pinnacle that Chevy and GM could get when it comes to what they had already mastered. And it's amazing, honestly, that they even got to the C7 before they switched up the game so hard because, like I said, the C6 was great. The first one that, in my opinion, was like, bam. Then, not first that was like, bam, but that's when they switched it. They started to switch gears, kick it to a new level, the more futuristic Corvette. Then the C7, when it came out in 2014, it was like, it's beautiful. C7s look good. They upgraded the interior, the engines, everything about the vehicle was perfected, but up. Still front mounted engine, still rear wheel drive, still the technologies and things that's in there, push ride engine, so it's just crazy. And like I said, it was time. I feel like they were left with no other option but to kick it into a whole new thing. And even think about C6 and C7. C6, the Z06 was naturally aspirated 7-liter. Then the C6 ZR1 had like 630 some horsepower. Then the C7 came out. The the C7 Z06 has 650 horsepower. That's more horsepower than the C6 ZR1. And now the C7 ZR1 has 755 horsepower. So it's like, it's still front mounted rear wheel drive, but it has so much power and technology and things. It's like, how could they surpass this level? The full package of beauty, styling, performance, handling, the numbers, the back it, and everything. So this is why now I believe that they say, okay, let's do it. And that's why, because they've been developing this for years, and I believe that wholeheartedly, because the tours for the Bowling Green manufacturing plant where they build, I believe, I'm not sure all, but most Corvettes, a lot of them, have been closed for tours for a while because they've been developing, and producing these C8s because they knew it's time for a change. Now, do I like the C8? Yeah, it's growing on me more and more. Now, Chevy is kind of getting to a point that, in my opinion, and when they first debuted it, I didn't like the C8. Not necessarily because the looks, kind of, but more along the lines of that, I don't like that they're switching up from their heritage. And, that's just my personal opinion, because I believe that if someone buys a Corvette, who can afford it, if you buy a Corvette, you're getting that American front-mounted engine, rear-wheel drive, a lot of power. So you know what you're putting your money into. I know there's better technology, better things, anything that's better than that. For example, rear-mounted engines. So, but when you buy that car, that vehicle, you know what you're getting into. And if you don't want that, put your money elsewhere. Now, granted, they are doing this right, because Ferraris, Lamborghinis, most accurate NSX, Ford GT, all those cars are at least $100,000. The C8 is still $60,000. Rear-mounted engine, almost 500 horsepower. So that's definitely one of the biggest perks of it. But it's like, I didn't like how they just switched it up so much and did that. Also, I don't like how they're kind of. It'll probably grow on me a little bit, but I don't want to get too technical. But they put a flat plane crankshaft in the ZCAR. Well, I think that's only a race edition that's not going to be produced. But it's rumors that the C8 Z06 will have a flat plane crankshaft. And there are also rumors of there being a hybrid version and maybe twin turbo version, which twin turbo ain't bad, but still, that's, maybe a V6, all kind of rumors out there. And I believe the C7, the C8 Z06 will have a flat plane crank. And I just don't like that because that's not what you buy when you put your money in the Corvette. I mean, apparently now it is, but that's not what you buy. Like, you put your money in a high-end European car or high-end Japanese car, if that's what you want. It's just non-traditional, and I don't kind of like that. Now, I won't take anything away. This is a road course warrior, period. I mean, it'll probably be a drag warrior too once some people, do some mods to it. But that rear-mounted engine, the power and numbers, everything on that car is amazing. I'll probably say, not just because I like Corvettes, but that's between that, the not produced anymore, but the Dodge Viper ACR and the Ford GT, not Mustang Jeep, but the actual Ford GT. Those are like the top. The C8, Ford GT, Dodge Viper ACR are like literally the top road-worthy American vehicles there are. That's like mass produced. So, but flat plane crank. Of course, the Ford Mustang GT 350 has that, but that's what you get when you put your money into that. It's the sounds weird, not weird, but it doesn't have that traditional American growl to it. It sounds like a baby Ferrari now, and then it's like no stick shift. I forgot the main point. A lot of people don't know how to drive sticks anymore, which, like I said, the market is changing, but it's not even an option, Granted, the technology is better with the automatics. It has a dual clutch 7-speed, if I'm not mistaken, but no stick shift. That take a fun factor away. Rear-mounted engine, which is more stable and sturdy on a road course and things like that, and I know for a fact it'll still break the tires and burn out and things, but and Corvettes are actually well balanced, weight balanced between the engine where it's located in the front as of currently in days, or at least C6 and C7 for the most part. It's very well balanced, but that rear mounted engine just balances away more. But that's another fun factor taken away. Not that you want to be dangerous or anything, drive safe, but fun factors taken away. And it's just, I don't know. In my opinion, I love C6 Corvettes a lot. But honestly, my favorite Corvette is the C7 because that is literally the pinnacle of Corvette. That's the last Corvette you'll get with a front-mount engine. That is the last true Corvette I would say you will get. From here on going forward, the Corvettes you get now is Corvettes 5.0. You know what I'm saying? They revamped and they different. Like I said, I'm not taking away none of the performance, none of the numbers. It's just the tradition, and it's become a numbers war. Manufacturers kind of want the best numbers, best performance, best track time, lap time, which is all great, but it takes a factor out. It just takes some of that fun factor out. Some of that, it's just different. But it is what it is. But and on top of that, like I said earlier, there's rumors of making a hybrid version, which I don't agree with because, like I said, when it come out, I'll probably like it. I know it'll be fast, but it'll grow on me. But it's not what you. It's not. It's just not right. Twin turbos on it. That's cool. I can almost kind of agree with it, and because like Cadillac has in the Blackwing engine, that Blackwing engine, I believe that's what it's called. It has twin turbos, like 500 some horsepower, something like that. That's a great engine. I mean, dude, that engine is magnificent, but Corvette always has superchargers. I mean, it's a good change sometimes, but those superchargers are putting out. I just said the C7 CR1 has 755 horsepower with a supercharger. That's, oh my God. But end of the day, it is what it is. Y'all tell me in the comments what y'all favorite Corvette is. What y'all think of, the C6, C7, and C8. How long y'all think the C8 will last. And just, what y'all think. I don't know, man. The C6 Corvette lasted from 05 to 13. That's a long time compared to the shorter-lived C7, which is just from 14 to 19. So who knows what's gonna happen? Y'all have a good Sunday. Always pray and be safe, and just be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't test and drive. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. I'll see y'all later.